to the next point. We should ensure whatever we say is clear.
That means work is being done. We can see that it is in opposite direction.
Hello learners, you are welcome to today's lesson. I'm so delighted to have you again. I am Ruth Tanko Godwin, your civic education teacher. The topic of our lesson for today is poverty. What did I say? Poverty. What do we mean by poverty? I know some of you are conversant with the word poverty, or you've been hearing people talking about poverty. So today we are going to look at what is really this poverty. We can define poverty as a state of condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources and essentials for a minimum standard of living. Let me take it again. Poverty is a state of condition in which a person or community lacks the financial resources and essentials for a minimum standard of living. We can also define it as not having enough material possession or income for a person's basic needs. In a layman language, you can also say poverty is a state of not having enough for your own living or for a suitable living. Some people may even say it is a state of where you do not have money or purchasing power to take care of your needs. It depends on how you view poverty. But poverty, what you will know, it is a state of lack. Now, my learners, why are people poor? If wishes were horses, everybody will have whatsoever he wants, whatsoever he needs, whatsoever will make him comfortable in life. But why do people become poor? Is it because they choose to be poor? Or is it because somebody has forced them to be poor? And that brings us to the causes of poverty. Let us look at what makes people to be poor. Number one is unemployment. Unemployment. You know, when one is employed, he will be able to make income out of that, his employment or his job. And when he makes his income, he will be able to save. He will be able to take care of his needs. He will be able to go out of the state of lack. So when there is unemployment, poverty can be the end result. Then another cause of poverty is inadequate physical asset. Example, land, capital, and minimum access by the poor to credit, even on small scale. What do I mean by that? When you do not have a physical asset, for example, land, or you do not have capital to be able to embark in a business, or also you do not even have access to credit, that is loan, to be able to invest or to go into business, that will also brings about poverty. And that is why you see that even when there is unemployment, but when people have easy access to loans, capital, or any asset, they will be able to convert it into wealth and be able to drive away poverty out of their life. But when these things are not available, poverty is sure. We also have poor governance or corruption. When the government of the day are corrupt, they do not govern the people properly, The resources that is supposed to be used to take the people out of poverty will be channeled into private pockets or private use. And with that, the people in that organization will remain poor because the government are supposed to be the ones that will help the people to drive away poverty from the nation. But when the government are corrupt, you know that the people will not be able to amass income, wealth, assets that will make them to run out of poverty. We also have lack of infrastructure. Lack of infrastructure. How can that bring about poverty? The infrastructure like the good roads, hospitals, social amenities, and so on and so forth. You know, when there are social amenities like the water, the light, and so on, it helps the small-scale businesses to come up. For example, the barber, the welder, the carpenter, and so on and so forth. They use light. Some of them use the source of water. If those things are absent, you know, it will be difficult for them to be able to maintain their small-scale businesses. You'll be able to maintain their handwork. And if they are not able to maintain it or they are not able to run it, you know that they will not be able to make income. And if they are not able to make income, you know, poverty will be the next state of their life. So lack of infrastructure also brings about poverty. And we have conflict. We have conflict. My dear learners, you are living witness of what just happened recently concerning the issue of NSAS, where so many lives and properties were lost. So many wealth of individual and the government were burned down, all because there was conflict. During peace, when there is peace, such things will not occur. So, you see, it will take a long time before such properties that were lost to be able to come back to normal, to be able to gain those assets back. And this will make so many people to lose their jobs, so many people to lose their businesses, their source of income, and so on and so forth. And that will bring about poverty, because if those people lose their business, of course, you know, they will not be able to make income. They will not be able to make wealth. And poverty will be the next condition. So, you see, conflict is an evil that should be taken away, that should be avoided in any society. We also have poor education. My dear learners, you will agree with me that if you are an educated person, even if you have a handwork, or you are in business, or you are working, your state of mind, your creativity will be improved. And when it's improved, you will do better. And when you do better, you'll be able to develop. And when you develop, you'll be able to amass wealth or income, which will improve your standard of living. So when there is no education, when the citizens of the society are not educated, even when they have the resources, when they have the natural, physical resources to go out of poverty, the resources will just be lying down low without anybody using it, because they do not have the education, they do not have the knowledge to put it into place, to subdue nation to subdue nature, for the nature to also serve them to go out of poverty. So lack of education is another necessary evil for poverty, which we will not want to have that. So education should be something that should be desired by every citizen to be able to get out of poverty. We have limited capacity of the government. Because maybe the government do not have the enough capacity to be able to satisfy or to be able to provide for the citizen of that society. You find out that some people will get some of the things that the government have to give, while some will not be able to give. Just like, again, I give the example, the national cake, like many people normally say, that is not going round. And that makes some people to be poor because they are not even feeling the hands of the government in their life. And that brings about poverty. And that brings us to the next point of inequality. When the government are not able to satisfy or to service all the people in the society or the majority people in the society, it brings about inequality. Inequality in the sense that maybe the rich will get richer while the poor will get poorer. The hands of the government will touch some people who will make them to be better, have a better condition of life, while some people will not feel the hands of the government and they will be getting poorer or they will suffer more, and that brings about inequality in the society. Another cause of poverty, my learners, is overpopulation. What did I say? Overpopulation. Overpopulation is also a child of the inequality. What do we mean by overpopulation? It depends on the way you see it. It's not as if the people are too many in the society or they are too little. No. When the resources of that nation is not enough to cater for the number of people in that society, that is when we say they are overpopulated. So overpopulation brings about poverty. There are some societies that have enough resources, natural, physical, name it, economic resources, that we cater for no matter how many the number of the people in that society are. We cannot say that country or that society are overpopulated. But when the resources is not enough to go around, then we can say there is overpopulation. So overpopulation is also as a cause of poverty. It is a child of poverty. Overpopulation gives birth to poverty. So this and so many are the causes of poverty. Now, my learners, you may ask, okay, what happened if we are poor? What happened if majority of the society are poor? Why am I emphasizing on these causes of poverty that I said we should do away with it? Yes, we have to. Because if we don't do away with these causes of poverty, something will happen. And that brings us to the consequences of poverty. What will happen if we are poor? If majority of the people are poor? If the nation is poor? What is the consequences of that? And let us pick one. The number one is crime. What did I say? Crime. My learners, you know what crime is. Crime is any activities that is against the norms and value of the society. Anything that the society will not accept is what is called crime. When there is poverty in a land, criminal activities will become the order of the day because the people are living in lack. Name it, any type of criminal activities. Can we say stealing, robbery, killing, kidnapping, and so on and so forth? It will be the order of the day because people will want to do such things in order to make money. When they see the person that they have not, we want to rob the person that have to be able to get and take care of themselves. And that is also a crime. Killing in the name of money, ritual killing, you see, it will become the order of the day. So that is one of the disadvantages or the consequences of poverty. We also have conflict in homes and the community. Let's start with the home. Look at this scenario. In the home, you cannot eat 3 times a day because there is poverty, because the head of the home cannot provide 3 square meals a day because of poverty. You know that the wife will not be in peace with the husband because she is hungry. The children will not be happy with the parents because they are hungry. And that the home will not be a good place, a better place for them to live. And when we come to the community, because in the community, everybody is hungry. No one is happy with the other person. The rich are suspicious of those that do not have, because they are afraid that those that do not have will come and steal from them, or they will forcefully take from them. And that brings chaos in the community. But in a community where everybody is doing well in his business and his endeavor, you will find out that there will be peace. So poverty brings about conflict in the home and the community. We also have uneducated population. Just as I mentioned earlier, we said one of the causes of poverty is lack of education. So when there is poverty, you find out that people will not be able to afford going to school. And if they cannot go to school, we will have majority population of that society that are uneducated. And if they are not educated, my learners, your guess is as good as mine. How can they use their potentials and their creativity to bring about development in the society, which will bring about income, wealth for everyone to be happy? So one of the consequences is the majority of the population will be uneducated. We also have political instability. As I earlier explained, when there is conflict in the home, conflict in the community, the people will become like, they will go against the government, and that will bring about instability, because they may be able to want to overtake the government of the day. We also have terrorism and increase in risks of war. Yes, when there's political instability, the people are not happy. Before you know it, some group of people will gang up themselves and become terrorists to the society, just as we explained in our previous lesson concerning terrorism. They will not be happy with the ideologies of the government, and with that, they will team up and become terrorists to the government, and which can also bring about war in the society. So poverty is a very, very dangerous evil that we should do away with in our society. We also have mass immigration of population. When the society is poor, many people will want to leave the society. They will move, mass movement of people from that society to another society, so as to look for greener pasture. You can see, especially in the African society, a lot of people are running away from their country to another country in search of greener pasture. Not because they do not want to stay at home. There is no place like home. No one will not want to be at home, but because of poverty, hunger, they will want to leave their fatherland to go to another society in search of greener pasture. So poverty, one of the consequences is movement of people out of the society. my learners, we've discussed very well. These are so many reasons or consequences of poverty. Now, how can we look for solution to this poverty so that we'll be able to drive away poverty from our society? Number one is create jobs or employment. The government, the non-governmental organization, individual, community should be able to create employment to individuals so that there will be employment. When people are employed, they'll be able to drive away poverty. The second one is improve the education of the people. Like I earlier explained, when the people are educated, you find out that poverty will run away because they will be able to use their creativity, their talent to drive away poverty. Provide infrastructure, that is hospitals, soft banking loan or grant, roads to link the rural and urban cities. When that is done, like I told you, I said lack of infrastructure bring about poverty. So when these infrastructures are in place, you'll find out that poverty will be on its way out of the life of the people. We also have one of the solutions is provide land for agriculture generally and storage facilities. You find out that some of the rural areas will have their farm product, but because they do not have the good roads to move their product to the marketplace, at the end, they will not be able to make sales. And if they are not able to make sales, they cannot make income. So, but when they have good roads that you can transport your goods to where you will have a good market for it, it will encourage them to farm more. And some of the products are normally perishable. If there is provision of good storage facilities for these farmers, you find out that they'll be able to make good income out of it, and that will encourage them to farm more and make more income. We also have another solution is to end wars, conflict, and terrorism. The government of the day will try by all means whatsoever that will bring conflict in the society, whatsoever that will bring war in the society, whatsoever that will make some part of the society not to be satisfied, to deem themselves to be terrorists, should be do away with. They should make sure that there is equality in the society. When that is achieved, you find out that conflict, terrorism, war will not be there, and that will bring about peace and poverty. Together, they will join their hands to drive away poverty. We also have raised the minimum wage. Raise the minimum wage of the workers. Some workers do not get their wages enough to take care of their needs. And that will also make them to be poor because they cannot take care of the basic needs in their life. So when the wages are enough to take care of the basic needs of the workers, you find out that they will be able to fight poverty out of their life. My learners, at the risk of our time, I will want to stop here. We have so many solutions to give out, but I will stop here and I will leave you with the rest to come up with other solutions to fight poverty. But before I go, I want to leave you with this assignment. And the assignment goes like this. Number one, define poverty. Define poverty. Number two, outline 4 causes of poverty. Outline 4 causes of poverty. Number 3, explain 4 ways poverty can be eradicated in a nation. Explain 4 ways poverty can be eradicated in a nation. My learners, I will leave you with this assignment. You come up with the answers to be sure that you understood what we've been discussing about till we meet next time. But for further reading, you can go through these books. Civic Education for Colleges by Isaac Olubumi. Civic Education for Colleges by Isaac Olubumi. Then Elaborate Civic Education by J.B. Saleh. Elaborate Civic Education by J.B. Saleh. Or you can Google through the internet to get more knowledge on this topic of poverty. Till we meet again, you can submit your assignment through this number 080-240-40570. 080-240-40570. I still remain your civic education teacher, Ruth Tanko Godwin. Stay safe, read hard, till we meet again. Bye-bye.